The night my husband came home early from his business trip, he didn't yell or cry, he just placed my phone on the table and asked, "How long have you been lying to both of us?" The phone looked wrong on the table. Like evidence. Like a weapon. I knew before he even spoke. The way he set it down, so carefully, like it might explode. The way he stood there in his work clothes at 9 p.m. on a Thursday when he was supposed to be in Denver until Saturday. The way his face looked completely blank. "How long have you been lying to both of us?" My stomach dropped through the floor. Both of us. He knew about Tyler. And he knew I'd been lying to Tyler too. I should have locked my texts. I should have used a different app. I should have never started any of this. But I did, and now I was sitting at our kitchen table, the same one where we'd eaten breakfast that morning, where I kissed him goodbye and told him I loved him, and everything was over. "Derek, I can explain." "Don't." His voice was so quiet. That's what scared me. No yelling. No throwing things. Just this eerie calm that made my skin crawl. "I read everything. The text to him. The text to your sister about me. The lies you told him about us being separated. The lies you told me about book club." There was never a book club. It started 6 months ago at a work conference. Tyler was a vendor rep, charming and attentive in ways Derek hadn't been in years. That's what I told myself anyway. Derek was busy with his promotion, working late, stressed about money. We'd been married 8 years and it felt like we were roommates who occasionally had sex. Tyler made me feel seen again. Special. Like I was 25 and not 33 with stretch marks and a mortgage and a husband who forgot our anniversary. The first time we kissed, I told myself it was a mistake. The second time, I told myself it was just physical. By the 10th time, I was telling Tyler that Derek and I were basically over, that I was planning to leave, that we were just staying together for appearances. None of that was true. Derek still told me he loved me every morning. He still reached for my hand when we watched TV. He still looked at me like I mattered. I just wanted to feel the way I did before we got buried in bills and routines and the slow erosion of passion that everyone says is normal in marriage. So I lied. To Derek about where I was going. To Tyler about who I was. To myself about what I was doing. "Tyler called me," Derek said. His hands were shaking. Just slightly. "This afternoon. On my work cell. Said he was trying to reach you because you blocked him after your fight. Wanted to know if you told me yet about the baby." The room tilted. "There's no baby, Derek. I swear to God there's no baby." "I know. Because I called him back after I read your messages. Turns out you told him you were pregnant to keep him from ending things. Just like you told him we were separated. Just like you told me you were at your sister's every Tuesday when you were at his apartment." I'd never seen him cry before. Not when his dad died. Not at our wedding. But his eyes were wet now. "You used a pregnancy lie to manipulate another man into staying with you while you were sleeping in my bed every night. Do you understand how sick that is? Do you understand what you are?" I wanted to explain about the loneliness, about feeling invisible, about how Tyler had seemed like proof I was still desirable. But the words died in my throat because Derek was right. I was sick. I'd become someone I didn't recognize. "I never meant for this to happen." "You meant every single bit of it. Every lie. Every time you kissed me goodbye and went to him. Every time you came home and let me touch you. You chose this." He picked up the phone again. "Not mine. His. I've already talked to a lawyer. I'm filing tomorrow. You'll get the papers at your office." "Derek, please, we can fix this, we can go to therapy, I'll do anything." "I don't want anything from you anymore." He walked toward the bedroom. Stopped. Turned. "Tyler texted you, by the way. About an hour before I got home. Said he can't do this anymore, that you're crazy, and to stop contacting him." The laugh that came out of me was hysterical, unhinged. "So you lost us both in the same day. Congratulations." I sat there at the table until I heard him come back out with a suitcase. He didn't look at me. Just walked straight to the door. "Derek, where are you going?" "My brother's. You can stay here tonight. Tomorrow, you leave. I already changed the locks on my dad's rental property. That's where I'll be staying. This is my house too. Actually, it's in my name. My down payment. Check the deed." He'd bought it before we got married. I'd never thought about whose name was on it. "I'll be back tomorrow at noon with my brother and my mom to get my things. Be gone." The door closed behind him with a soft click. Not a slam. Not a bang. Just a quiet, final sound that meant I would never hear him say my name again. I spent that night on the couch, staring at the ceiling, calling his phone over and over until he blocked me. I texted his brother. Blocked. His mom. Blocked. I drove to his brother's apartment at 3 a.m. and his car wasn't there. I had no idea where my husband was sleeping. The husband I destroyed. The papers came to my office like he promised. I had to sign for them in front of my coworkers. My boss, Jennifer, pulled me aside after and asked if I was okay. I lied and said it was mutual, that we'd grown apart. She looked at me the way you look at a stranger, and I realized Derek had probably already told people the truth. He had. By the end of the week, everyone knew. His sister posted something cryptic on Facebook about snakes in the grass and thanking God when toxic people remove themselves from your life. 43 people liked it, including my college roommate. I tried to explain my side to our mutual friends. That things had been hard. That I'd made a mistake. That Derek wasn't innocent either, he'd been emotionally distant for months. They didn't want to hear it. They wanted to hear that I was a cheater who lied about being pregnant to manipulate my affair partner. Because that's what Derek told them. Because it was true. My sister stopped answering my calls. She'd met Derek's family at our wedding, had Christmas with them for 8 years, loved his mom's cooking. She chose them. I don't blame her. I wouldn't have chosen me either. Tyler never responded to any of my messages. I tried to explain, to apologize, to ask him to just talk to me. Nothing. I found out through LinkedIn that he'd moved to a different state for a new job. Erased me like I'd never existed. Derek didn't fight me on anything in the divorce because there was nothing to fight over. The house was his. Our savings account had his name on it. My car was paid off, and that was the only thing I got to keep. I signed the papers in a lawyer's office and didn't cry because I was too empty. I see him sometimes. At the grocery store. At the gas station near his rental. Once, at our old favorite coffee shop, and I watched him laugh with a woman I didn't recognize. She was pretty. Younger than me. She touched his arm and he smiled in a way he used to smile at me. I wanted to walk over, to explain, to beg. But what would I even say? I'm sorry I destroyed us for 6 months of feeling desired by someone who never actually loved me. I'm sorry I lied about a pregnancy to keep a man who called me crazy the second things got complicated. I'm sorry I threw away 8 years of real love for something that evaporated the moment it got exposed to daylight. I moved into a studio apartment on the bad side of town. It's all I can afford now. My credit tanked during the divorce. I eat pasta most nights and try not to think about the dinners Derek used to cook, the way he'd pour me wine and ask about my day like he actually cared. He did care. That was the worst part. He loved me completely, and I repaid him with betrayal so thorough, so layered with lies, that there was no road back. I matched with someone on a dating app last month. We texted for 2 days before he asked, "Hey, are you the woman whose husband divorced her for the fake pregnancy thing? My buddy knows your ex." I deleted the app. There's a version of this story where I'm the victim. Where I was neglected, taken for granted, driven to seek comfort elsewhere. Where Tyler was the real villain who manipulated me. Where Derek should have fought harder for our marriage. But that version is a lie. The truth is I had a good man who worked hard to give us a stable life. Who got tired sometimes but never stopped trying. Who would have gone to therapy if I'd asked? Who would have reconnected if I'd been honest about feeling distant? Instead, I chose to blow up my entire life for a man who disappeared the second I became inconvenient. I can't fix this. I can't rewind. I can't make Derek look at me again without disgust in his eyes. Some mistakes are permanent. Some people don't get second chances. I had everything, and I traded it for nothing. Now I sit alone in a studio apartment I hate, eating off paper plates because I didn't get any of our dishes, scrolling through old photos of a woman I used to be with a man who used to love me. And the worst part, the part that wakes me up at 3 a.m. in a cold sweat, is that I did this to myself. Nobody ruined my life. I walked into the fire with my eyes open and a smile on my face, and now all that's left is ash and the knowledge that the person who destroyed me was staring back at me in the mirror the whole time.